Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy with a guest that I have to say, I know not anything against any of my other guests on the show. Everybody's been amazing, but you are the guest that everybody has been anticipating. We already have over 100 people just waiting in here for you. It is Dan
Hello.
Murrell.
Odd circumstances that have put me in a position to be able to do the show, but I'm very happy to be able to be here.
That is so true. Never in my wildest imagination did I think that you and I would be doing a, for all intents and purposes, Skype stream of a live show, and that would be the first time that I got you on my YouTube channel. But here we are.
Here
It's
we
a
are.
weird world.
Yeah.
Dan, everybody has questions for you. Everybody has, like, I am telling you that when people hear your name, that you're coming on a show, immediately it gets people excited. You are, I put this out in my tweet, but you are the most liked. Not only, I was going to say loved, but a lot of people can be loved. It's a lot more challenging to be liked. You are the most liked person in this space,
Thank you.
and by myself included. And that is, I got to be a challenging title to hold. You have a lot of other titles, but I don't know. That's got to have, that's a little bit of pressure to be the most liked human. Everybody likes you.
That's very flattering. That's very nice. I'm just excited that, like I said, these circumstances are very odd, but the one of the upsides is that I've gotten a chance to be able to do your show and to do like my friends' shows that I usually can't do because I'm at work. It's a little bit tougher when you're at work to carve out the time than when you're at home, and the schedule's a little more flexible and it's a lot easier as far as getting the stream and getting a space to do it. So it's kind of ironic that in this social distancing era that it's actually at least on my end sort of allowed me to be a little more accessible and spend more time virtually with a lot of my friends.
Because everybody wants a window into the soul that is Dan Murrell, I do have to ask you, what do we got going on behind you? Are those pillows of Batman, or what do we got?
These are pillows that Mara, who's amazing.
She is amazing.
They're throw pillows, and then she just got fabric from Joanne Fabric and just made these awesome pillows. I think she did every single one of these. So there's Batman, and we got Star Wars. I got some Star Trek, Harry Potter pillows over there. One of the many amazing things that Mara does.
Well, speaking of things that Mara does, what has the baking schedule been like since all things quarantine? If I lived with Mara, I would walk out of this 300 pounds heavier.
Well, yeah, that's the challenge is there's more time for the treats, but it's harder to get them to people. So she made the first week that we were sort of in, I think it was before the safer at home order, but I was working from home already. She made the best banana pudding that we were able to safely distribute to people.
Oh, I didn't get in on that. I love banana pudding.
I'm sorry, Roxy. She'll make some more. But
yes, you should be sorry, Dan. What was there? Some kind of pandemic going on? Jeez, how could I not get my banana pudding? So
a lot of it went to the neighbors. But the problem now is we have the time, but we also want to share it with people. But it's a little tougher, to get it out to everyone. And we also want to make sure that we're staying home for everything except for the essentials. So it is food delivery, though. So
that's true. That is essential.
That could be considered essential.
Everything you do is considered essential because apparently podcasting, essential.
Yeah.
Food delivery, essential. Dan Murrell, very essential.
Thank you.
You mentioned a word that is not a word I hear often in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. That word is neighbor. Are you familiar with your neighbors?
We are. The particularly ones across the hall. We live in a smaller building, so there's not quite as many people total. And the neighbors across the hall we're very friendly with. They're very, very cool people, and so it's very easy for Mara to whip up a batch of something and just kind of drop them off over there. So we know some of our neighbors.
I'm so jealous of anybody who knows their neighbors. I want to be that person who goes over with a batch of brownies or whatever it is when somebody moves in, but I don't even know if I got here first, if they got here first. Like, that's how little awareness I have of who lives around me.
We did not know our previous neighbors because we didn't really like them that much in our other building. Sorry if you're our old neighbors and you're watching. They were very loud. very
Yeah.
low. But yeah, no, we're hit or miss. We're hit or miss. We either have great neighbors or really bad neighbors. We have some great neighbors here. We've had some bad neighbors in other places, but we're very lucky so far. Good neighbors.
It's something about LA. Back in Newton, back outside Boston, I knew everybody. I knew how long they had lived on the street. I knew where they went to school. Everything. We'd have block parties. Block parties. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine here like what a block party would even look like. There
it's a
wouldn't
weird.
be any people.
I wonder if it's because in LA everyone works in different industries, and so like all of our hours are different and our
That's
schedules are
true.
different, and in a lot of places it's like where people aren't just crazy. Everyone works generally like more of a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and so it's more of a communal thing. I don't know. That's a great question because you're right. The whole block party culture and everything
You
is
did that
much
growing
less.
up?
Um, there's like community events. We didn't really have.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of block parties. That's kind of a northeastern thing, I think. It's a little more. It's kind of a northeastern part. Like with the South, it's more like potlucks and.
Mm.
But instead of like being on the block, it's like you would go to like particularly like a church or like a park or something. It's not so much like everybody leaves their homes and it's right there. It was more like there's like it's more structured.
For us, I remember you would have to legally register it with the city,
Mhm.
and your street would get shut down for the entire day.
That's
You would
crazy.
just let them know we're gonna have a block party this day, and then doesn't matter what street, how busy they're like, yeah, okay, we'll bring the cones. Street shut down 24 hours. So bizarre thinking about that. In LA,
Yeah,
everybody would be, get out of my way.
exactly. Yeah, I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time, and they would talk about block parties.
Yeah, that's
I think it
true.
may be just more of like a New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut thing.
Maybe. So I'm sure the people are so thrilled to hear that that's why I had you on to talk about these block parties.
It's
But
all going to be block party talk.
it's only block parties. But there are a lot of stuff, people asking you things in the Patreon. Anybody who's a $10 tier up gets to ask every guest a question. So Patreon, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. And just a quick shout out to somebody in the super chat. Larry Lee says, come on, rock stars, hit that like button. I appreciate when you guys, we already have 120 thumbs up. So let's get more. I don't think we have anything cool. Like we'll see Joe dance if Dan and I get enough thumbs up, but
No,
we just appreciate it. Is that a
we could
good enough
ask him.
reason? Yeah, it's just in the bottom corner. I can just get him to come in and dance. That would be pretty amazing. It is a weird time for him to be dancing. I know that we did unlock that, but it doesn't feel like a
Yeah,
dancing time really.
it'll happen once, hopefully soon-ish when it's safe. We'll get Joe dancing. Don't worry
Yeah,
about that.
I agree. Let's go into the Patreon though to start with some of these. Donnie A wants to know. He says, not including Jaws. What's
Mhm.
one movie that came out before you were born that you would have loved to see in theaters when it was originally released?
Oh, well, I mean, Star Wars. Just to have been alive in 1977 and been old enough to know that, like, you watching something that's going to change history. That's this thing. I would love to see that. I've seen that. And then somebody a couple years ago posted some vintage audio that was recorded in the theater when the original Halloween came out, and
Oh wow.
that sounded like a fun time.
Do you think you
So
would have appreciated either of them to the extent that you do now if you had been an original theater goer?
I think so because you're part of that phenomenon. In a way, you may appreciate it even more. Because the first time I saw Star Wars was on USA Network on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, I didn't see it
You
in
remember it?
theaters. I do. I remember the first time I saw Star Wars.
Wow.
I mean, that's the thing. That's one of those movies that no matter when you see it or where, I think you still remember it because it's so. Especially if you're young enough. I understand people that like if they don't see it till they're 20 or 25, they're like, oh, I liked it, but I don't get the big deal. Like I understand that. I think when you're young, um, it really still hits you hard. And I mean, yeah, I remember I saw it on TV, but I didn't see it in theaters till the special editions came out in '97.
You would pick if Jaws was in that running though, you would have picked Jaws over anything.
Ooh, That's a good question. I don't know. Star Wars is or 2000. Well, but I saw 2001: A Space Odyssey in the theater a couple years ago. So at least you can. It's more about the audience energy that I would
Yeah.
want to recreate. Jaws would have been a great one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it would have been amazing. I think that just watching that, I think I honestly might even go. No, I'd go Star Wars. You're right. It's all about the Star Wars life.
Yeah.
In the super chat, Andrew Thomas says, "What is your favorite honest trailer, Dan?" I'm sure you're
Ooh.
asked this question kind of often. Do you have like an immediate answer? Or is it always changing?
I mean, because I've done like over 200, 300 of them, I think, or more that I've worked on.
Over 300?
We've done over 300, and I think at this point I should have worked on more than 300 of them.
Damn.
I mean, Les Miserables always sticks out to me because I just think that the vocals, and it was an all musical trailer. It was something a little different for us. It was back when I was still editing, but there's still just a lot of jokes in that trailer that still make me laugh a lot. That's always the one that jumps out for me, is the one for Les Miserables.
It's a great one.
There's one coming up. I don't know how it's going to turn out yet because we're still very early in the making phases of it. But there's one coming up that could be in my top 5 if it pans out the way I think we all think it will. I'm really excited about it.
Do I know what you're talking about?
I don't know if you do. It's something we're currently working on that I'm super pumped about.
Inner Circle secrets, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Well, I'm excited for it regardless. Now we're jumping over to the Streamlabs. We're doing a lot of hopping back and forth today. This one's coming from Glenn Caesar. He says, "Happy Monday, Roxy and Dan. Thanks for virtually hanging with us. Love you both. Dan, glad you are in the hashtag Rockstars band. Question for you two. Better game to play with the family/friends, Monopoly or Uno, or do you prefer another game more? Also, what's the worst game to play?"
I mean, I would almost say the Monopoly is the worst game to play. I mean, Mara and I, we love a good game of Monopoly. But if you're talking about a game to play with family and friends, that's a commitment. That's like a 6-hour commitment. I mean,
you have to love your family a lot. Like this is the distinction that I made earlier in the show. You have to like your family a lot, not love them. You have to like them.
You do.
Monopoly's a long game.
Now we have a Star Trek: The Next Generation Monopoly. That's a great game that we enjoy playing.
When's the last time you played Uno?
Yeah, but I think by just those two, I would say Uno, I think would definitely be the better game to play with the family because everyone can play, etc. I'm trying to think. There's one that's better than both of those to play.
I
with
like Pictionary.
Clue's good. Mara suggested Clue. Pictionary's good.
Everybody in here, we're waving. Everybody send. This is what we do when we love something. We send bunnies. Everybody send bunnies for Mara. Hi, Mara.
Oh, that's very nice.
Mara, I'm going to have to ask you to come on the show in the near future too. Baked goods be damned. Yes. I'll take Mara just without them, although I want some of that banana bread magic stuff that you're making, whatever you're making up this time. Okay, so we decided Monopoly is actually the worst. Uno's pretty good. Pictionary I like.
Taboo is a good game, underrated game.
I also anything a heads up because then you don't have to plan that you're going to play it. Mm-hmm. If you're just having awkward family time, you can whip out your phone. Hey, anybody want to play heads up? That's always a good one.
We love playing heads up. We play it in the car wash. We played it at Disney. So many places.
All the people are sending bunnies for Mara. I love it. That's awesome. Also staying in the Streamlabs, KP says, just wanted to thank you guys for being amazing. Make content to distract me from crazy work and being wonderful in general. Hope your loved ones are safe and healthy. And Dan, you look like you'd be a great lead man for Roxy's band, the Rockstars, just saying.
Oh, so, wow.
I mean, it's not a real band, so I guess all you have to do is just kind of pose for the posters.
I could do that as long as it didn't involve any actual musicianship or singing. I could definitely do it.
I mean, maybe some like lip singing, you know.
I think I could get the hang of it.
Yeah, I feel like you'd probably actually be pretty bomb at karaoke.
I'm okay. It's all about song selection.
Are you really bad at anything?
Oh, sure. I'm really bad at lots of things.
What are you?
I have a horrendous sense of direction. Absolutely awful. I can't read a map to save my life. I still need to look up how to get places that I've been to 50 times. I have the world's worst sense of direction.
That's another similar thing that you and I have. Wow.
There you go.
We're having so many similarities recently, Dan. In the super chat, Mike says, if you could erase all knowledge of one movie and see it for the first time, knowing nothing about it, what movie do you pick? For me, it's Psycho.
It's a great one.
Interesting question, Mike. I don't erase all knowledge. See, that's the good caveat because you don't know anything. Dan, anything? Got one?
I mean, The Sixth Sense got me. The Sixth Sense really got me hard.
Same.
And I loved going back and reanalyzing the movie the second time and finding all the different things. Like that was a lot of fun. So I'm tempted to say Sixth Sense.
A lot
I
of M.
also,
Night ones would be really great picks.
Fight Club is another one. But I mean, basically the entirety of the 1999, like Blair Witch, Sixth Sense, Fight Club, Matrix. There were so many movies that came out in '99 that I would love to go back and see.
When was Memento?
Memento was 2000.
Okay, so
2001.
So still in that kind of era, that one would be cool too.
Definitely.
I pick all of your picks. Those are good ones. You did great on that question. Sugar Gum says, hi, Roxy. Does anyone call you Roxanne? And do you hate when they do? I've also always wondered if Dan's name is just Dan or Daniel. Dan?
It is Daniel.
Does anybody call you Daniel?
Not so much. Some of my family does sometimes, but I think I was in 8th grade. I decided I wanted to go by Dan instead of Daniel because there was somebody at my school. There was one of the principals or assistant principals kept messing up my name. Didn't know my last name. They said Murrell. And then I think because they were saying Murrell in their head, then they also said Danielle. And so like 2 or 3 times on the intercom, they said Danielle Murrell. And so I got sick of it. And I said, all right, I'm Dan. And it
That's
took about 2
awful
years.
too, because kids make fun of people for anything. And so if you become Danielle Murrell, that's hard to live down. Yes, people call me Roxanne. By people, I only mean my father, and only when he is not happy with me. It is Roxanne, like that, in that tone. I don't think I've ever heard anybody out here call me that. It's just, it doesn't even resonate as my name, but it is my name. So, and I don't hate when people call me that. I just know it means that somebody's not happy with me. So that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
Going back to the Streamlabs Morse code says, I continue to be unable to think of a decent question. So I'm curious how many hats Dan owns and how many of them he wears regularly. I have a couple dozen. I wear 3 regularly, is what Morse code says.
I have a similar ratio. I probably own about 15 different hats, I would say, but I only wear like 2 or 3 of them regularly. Yeah.
So it's this one we've seen. What are the main hat rotations?
This one is the main one that I wear almost all the time, just because I love it. It's great. I was a hat guy even before I lost my hair. I've just always liked wearing hats, and I couldn't do it in high school or junior high at school. I would always wear a hat, almost always outside of school.
Did you have a dress code?
Yeah, dress code. So I couldn't wear it at school. Couldn't wear caps at school. And then when I went to college, I just wore a hat all the time. So I've always been a hat guy. But I tend to be like a one hat guy. So like I'll pick a hat and I'll wear that one hat like all the way through, and then I'll get another hat. So this one is my main one right now. I wear this most of the time. I got a couple of the Florida State hats. A great fan in Atlanta gave me a Florida State hat that I wear every once in a while. So I should probably shuffle the hat game a little bit more.
No, I think you got a good one. You got a good thing going.
I like the feel. I like the look of it. I like the, it fits my head well. It's comfortable. So generally, once I find a good hat, I'll stick with it.
At my school, we were allowed to, it was a public school. You were allowed to wear hats. However, teachers were allowed to decide whether you could wear them during their classes. So half the teachers would make you take them off in class and half of them not, which was very strange. I feel like kind of pick one, either let people wear them or don't.
Right.
It definitely made it tough for bad hat days. You know, you'd be wearing it and then a teacher would make you remove it. It's not a pretty look. Wasn't good under there. Nobody likes
the teacher be the bad guy.
Yeah, I agree. I Am Ninja Panda says, what was the last movie that made you openly cry in the theater? Openly
Oh,
cry.
wow. Openly cry in the
Oh, I know what
theater.
it was.
I'm trying to think. The last movie I saw that made me openly cry in the theater.
Do you think openly cry means sob, or openly cry means like just if somebody looked at you, they would know you were crying?
I think it means shed a tear. I don't know if it means sobbing, but I think it means shedding a
Did you
tear.
just confer with Mara? Did she
I
tell you which
did.
one?
She reminded me of what the last time I remember like a movie related crying was we went to see about a year and a half ago John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was this combination of like John Williams live, which I mean, come on, and then Steven Spielberg was there, and then he played live my favorite piece of John Williams music, which is the chase and the kids taking off on the bike from ET from the end. And so it's like this
Oh, so
combination of
good.
just like John Williams live, Spielberg's there playing my favorite piece of John Williams music to the movie, live accompaniment to the movie. It was already a piece of music that every time with the kids going across the sun, my hair just stands up all over my body every time I see it. And so yeah, no, there were I more than a few tears shed.
It was the
During that.
perfect combination of all the things at once.
It really was,
It's
yeah.
the best feeling though when you're watching something and it makes you cry. I love that feeling. It's just like
Mhm.
you got me. You did
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Charles Clark in the super chat says, first ever super chat. Thanks, Charles. You rock.
Whoa.
Hi to Roxy and Dan. Hope you guys are doing well. My question is, what's your favorite music to listen to on your commute? Well, right now we're not commuting very much, but from your commute from your bedroom to your living room, what is your favorite music to listen to, or when we're not in quarantine?
Well, actually, I switched from music to audiobooks about 6 months ago. So I had been listening to the Grand Admiral Thrawn trilogy, Star Wars books, before my commute went away. Other than that, I generally, if I was going to listen to music, I have stuff on my phone that's a mix of like, stuff I've been listening to for like 20 years. And then
What
it's,
genre?
oh God, a lot of soundtrack stuff, movie soundtracks, a lot of just like songs that were hits when I was in like middle school and high school, like Smashing Pumpkins and stuff. I don't listen to a lot of new music. It's mostly just stuff that I connect to on a certain level outside of today.
Not only do I not listen to a lot of new music, but I feel so disconnected that when people say the names of musical artists I've never heard of, and then I'll look at them on Instagram and they have 200 million followers, I'm like, wait, what? At
Yeah.
the Grammys, there's one person who won. It was a woman who had brown hair. That's all I remember about her. But whoever it was, she has legitimately 200 million followers. I've never heard of this person. I don't know what her name is. No idea.
It's
None.
very disconcerting.
Yeah.
I think one year I watched the Video Music Awards after not watching them for like 10 years or so, and I realized, like, oh, this show is not for me anymore.
This is why I do not do this.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. Jake Primetime says, been a fan of Screen Junkies and both of you since I was in middle school. I love Collider Live, charting, movie fights, etc. You guys have been entertaining me and have been a huge part of my life. Thank you guys for entertaining us, and I love you guys. Thanks, Jake
Thank you.
Primetime. That's so
Awesome.
nice.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, right now, during this very strange time of isolation and quarantine and craziness in the industry, comments like that actually talk about making me want to tear up when people just want to say nice things. It's so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Wesley Aaron Roth says, Dan and Roxy, I'm a big fan. Has anyone ever told you that you remind them of Matt Frewer? You should do a Max Headroom promo or the Schmodown. What is that? Matt Frewer.
Brewer. He played do you know Max Headroom?
No, I don't know what either of those things are.
Matt Frewer is an actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's like a character actor. You'd probably recognize him if you saw his face.
Let me look him up.
He was in Watchmen. He played Moloch.
Oh yeah.
But he in the 80s there was this like virtual character called Max Headroom.
On what?
On TV. Well, he had a TV show, but I think he originally started as he started as a pitch man for Coke. He was like Coca-Cola's like guy, but he's like this like virtual like avatar, but it like, like jumps and everything. But he was like the guy who was the equivalent of motion capture at the time for Max Headroom. So I've never gotten Matt Frewer before, but I do remember Max Headroom, and that
I
was
just looked him up, and you look legitimately nothing like him.
yeah.
But maybe
Okay,
it's an energy thing.
I think it might be more. It may be more Max Headroom. Let me see if I can get a picture of Max Headroom up because he wears sunglasses and he's a little like. It was a very interesting time
Huh.
in our history where we had guys like Max Headroom who were just like the yeah. See, he was like a
Oh, I can see it more there. Okay. Yeah, okay. I
yeah
just looked up somebody who had many, many years on you, so that picture makes more sense. Got
yeah
it.
yeah. So
Uh,
I could see
all
that
right.
actually. I see Max Headroom.
We'll take it. We'll take it
Yeah.
as a compliment. Going to Paul Denuzio, who says, "Love to Roxy and the rock stars. Thanks to you and Dan for helping to keep us sane during these times. Dan, who do you think are the greatest living actors to never receive an Oscar?"
Oh wow.
Wow, we're really putting you to work on this stream
Jeez,
today.
greatest living actors to never receive an Oscar. That's the tough one, is the ones who haven't won, because generally the great ones have won. And
Mm-hmm.
then living. Um, Off the top of my head, I'm just trying to think. I think Amy Adams is a fantastic actor who not only hasn't won, but is often overlooked even for
Has
nominations.
has Jake Gyllenhaal not won?
Jake Gyllenhaal has not won.
Okay,
Jake
so that he's
Gyllenhaal
on my list then for
is a
sure. I
great
mean,
actor. Yeah.
even misses nominations for years that he clearly should have been nominated.
Him not being nominated for Nightcrawler
It's
was criminal.
it's insane.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other like just like great actors who have never won, because I'm sure there are some super obvious ones that I'm not thinking of. Ian McKellen
Has never won?
never won, never won an Oscar.
You just would
Um,
assume. You just would assume, you know?
you would. I don't believe Helen Mirren has won an Oscar. Annette
Wow.
Bening, great actress, never won an Oscar. Um,
Damn, those are good ones.
yeah, those are the ones that spring into my mind. I'm sure that I'll kick myself because I forgot somebody.
Well, if you think of them later on in the stream, but good question, Paul. Coming
Matt
from
Frewer.
coming from Nikki Therese. Hey y'all, I'm more grateful now than ever that I got to see you in Atlanta before everything going on. That was one of the most fun weekends of my life. It's crazy to think that it could have been canceled if it was scheduled only 1 or 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And then there's part 2 of this, which says, speaking of games, if you're into online games, I highly recommend Jackbox and Ticket to Ride. I played Ticket to Ride for a combined 24 hours this weekend alone. Thought I'd caution Dan if he's directionally though I caution Dan if he's directionally challenged.
That could be a real challenge for me.
Could be an issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think about that with Atlanta, you know. It got in right under the wire, but it sucks about the future events right now and just not knowing what's going to happen. But obviously there are bigger issues going on in the world. So I just kind of keep reminding myself that these are the things that we can deal with and that are small and that will pick back up. And when everything's done, we will do live events still, and we will keep doing Schmodown. And it's just going to be a strange little world for a bit.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's. I am glad that the folks that got to go to that event, the timing was such that we were able to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's on one, like you said, on one hand, it's a bummer. Like the free for all is my favorite event of the year, and but at the same time, it's like there's no question that not doing it was the right thing to do, because
Yeah, of course.
it's people's health and safety. That's number one. Yes, rescheduling and having to wait is not fun, but the risks are far greater than the benefits. So
Agreed.
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to it as well, but
Me
however
too.
long it takes.
Yeah. However long for people to be safe.
Yep.
John Layton in here says, "Love you guys. Be safe in the chaos. I'm going nuts. Used to working 80 hours a week. Been laid off for 2 already. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So many people, including because I'm part time, including me in a lot of places, and it's not always going to be like this. So we just need to, no matter what's happening, and I'm so sorry to hear that, it's not always going to be like this. And that's what we just have to keep focusing on, getting everybody safe first so that we can figure out the economy aspect of it later.
Yeah.
Far as Muthana in here, hey Dan, big fan. What's your fave movie fight?
Ooh, wow, my favorite movie fights.
Have you been in them before?
I've done one or two.
Oh,
I've done one or two. I think I think it was the first one we did where I got to fight Kevin Smith. Was a lot of fun.
So cool. I mean, I can't even believe that's a sentence you're able to say.
I can't either. And he is such a nice guy. And you can, if you go back and watch it, I'm so nervous the first part of it, but eventually it was getting into the groove of it. And I just remember even right before we went live, they said 30 seconds. And then he was just joking around and goes, 30 seconds, no more Dick, which is a joke from Dick Tracy. And so then I was like, Dick Tracy. And he's like, oh, you know that? Oh, good job, man. Oh, that's a great job. I'm like, it was so crazy. So, that was so much fun just because it was a real sort of out of body dream come true type moment.
That's an awesome answer.
To get to talk to him and do a movie fight.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Lawrence Lee says, what was one of the most memorable moments competing for you? I think they're talking Schmodown. Also, go USF Bulls. Sorry, just had to add that in.
That's fair enough. That's
a little zing. First he asks the question, and then he throws in the zing.
It's a USF, FSU, all of us Florida schools. It's all a friendly rivalry.
Except do you have a most memorable competing moment?
Man. Memorable in a good way definitely would be, that Brooklyn event where I fought Ethan was such a great event, and the crowd was so incredible. And I was not necessarily walking in there expecting to. I don't expect to win any match, but even that one, Ethan had beaten me very handily before, so I was super expecting not to win. And just the energy of that crowd and winning the belt back, and that was the culmination of a very sort of weird series of events to get to that moment. I've been very lucky to have a lot of great moments, but I think I'd probably put that one up there at the top.
I think that's a perfect one to put there. LK in here says, woo, I'm hoping... Do you like my woo? Woo.
Woo.
I'm hoping Dan's cat also makes a special appearance. Well, maybe we can make that happen. As for a question for both Roxy and Dan, what movie opinion were you most surprised by the other person having? Also, usually SJU movie reviews are done by Roth and Dan, but I would love to see Roxy and Dan review an older movie together that they have completely opposite opinions on. Life Itself? ?
I don't know if I call that an older movie. I mean, it's kind of old.
Well, I guess it depends on your perspective of the world. So I don't know if there was ever an opinion that I was that surprised on you. I guess, I guess you and I both enjoying Venom. That was
a bit shocking.
That was a little surprising.
I was shocked that I enjoyed Venom. So
I was shocked you did too. And I was surprised that you enjoyed it. And then I was surprised that we enjoyed it. So maybe that one?
That's pretty, I think that's probably one that would be, no one would see that coming. And you know what? I just rewatched it recently. I stand by it. I still think it's a weird, fun movie.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I like it. It's totally good. Paul says, just for Billy Belford, we put forth Ed Harris.
I think as maybe the best actor to not win an Oscar.
Oh, I thought we were still doing similarities to you. I didn't. I never know which one. But thank you, Paul.
It fits that question as well.
Yeah, sure. We don't know. Larry says, what's your favorite underrated film? BTW, go USF Bulls.
Underrated film. Oh, geez, man, these are some really good questions.
I know.
They're very broad. The broad ones are hard to think of.
I know. It's tough.
There's one that I always talk about called Notes on a Scandal. I've plugged it a few times on SJU or on Screen Junkies, where it stars Kate Blanchett and Judi Dench. And basically, Kate Blanchett is this teacher who has an affair with a student, and Judi Dench is this coworker slash sort of like she has also kind of like a crush on her, who
What
like
year is
finds
this?
out. I think it's like 2004, right on
Mm.
2004. It's really good. Like it's a super good movie, and I think maybe Kate Blanchett might have been nominated for it, but the movie itself should get way more love. It's just it's a little harder to find than some movies, but if you can find it, I really, really like that movie. I think it's a
I
good
gotta
movie.
check that out.
Yeah.
All right, good rec. Hitman Hudson says, "What are y'all doing for Dan's 40th?"
Oh, my 40th. Oh, geez,
I,
Louise.
I
That's like
mean,
almost 3 years away. I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Dan, have you started planning yet? You've got to get
No,
on that. This
I
is a very
haven't.
big monumental event that we've got to start planning.
I don't
Um,
know. I luckily I still have a little time to plan for
I
that.
guess we'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
We'll let you know,
I'll let
Hitman.
you know.
Somebody's trying to get an invite to that party real early. They
Right.
don't even
Just
know
get
what
in
it
there
is.
soon. Yeah.
Billy Belford says, from Rob K, have you ever walked out of a movie?
As an adult, no. No.
What does that mean? Did
Well,
you
when
as
I
a
was a
child?
kid, I got sick during Ghostbusters 2 and had to leave.
Oh, but you didn't like this wasn't like screw this, I'm leaving the movie.
Right, exactly. No, I've wanted to, but I just feel like I'm committed. And I also have this weird thing of just like I hold out hope that even if it's terrible, that maybe there will be some redeeming factor in it at some point.
Right. And especially if you're doing it for your job to review it, maybe the last act for some reason changes your entire mind about
Yes.
the or something. It's happened before. So
I would have walked out. I honestly would have walked out of the last two Transformers movies. Like
yeah.
100% I would have, but I was there for work, and my job is to be a critic. My job is to review a movie, not to walk out of a movie and talk about how bad it was. It's to watch the whole thing and give my opinion of it. So I stayed. I wished I hadn't, or I wished I didn't have to, but I did. But yeah, no, I've never walked out of a movie, even if it's just god awful.
I've never either. More similarities, Dan Murrell and Roxy Stryer.
Yeah,
Morse code says the Reagan head in the 2015 cafe in Back to the Future 2 is a Max Headroom type character.
that is correct. Yeah.
To the cafe.
So when Marty goes to 2015 and Back to the Future 2, he walks into the Cafe 80s.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
screen
yeah.
jumps in. He's like, "Welcome to the Cafe 80s." And
Okay.
he kind of has that weird laugh. Like, that's Max Headroom. That's like basically a riff on Max Headroom.
Wow, a few strange cuts, but I will take them. Going to Garth Harkness McMurray with the drama in the Finstock exchange with Dagnino. If Rocco were to leave for another faction, would you pick a new team's partner for the Finstock exchange, or would you consider leaving for another faction yourself? How about joining the Rockstars faction? I didn't pay him to write that. Answer how you must.
Listen, John. First of all, John ain't leaving because I feel like he would talk to me before he did that.
We know he would talk to you.
Figure it out.
We know he would talk to you. Yeah.
But if he did leave, or if he was traded, or whatever, I don't know. I don't know the rules on that. If he was traded, would that mean we couldn't be a team anymore? Because I'd be very sad about that. I don't know how I would. I don't know. That's a tough question. They
wouldn't even be able to trade him when you guys are due. I think you have to lose 2 games in a row for somebody to be traded.
Yeah, we'd have to go on like a losing streak for them to break us up. And I don't know if we were broken up like against my will or against his will. Like, I don't know. That'd be a hard pill for me to swallow.
I know we're supposed to wrap in a few minutes, but there's so many more questions for you. Can we push for another? Can we do 15 more? Okay.
Sure.
So let's get to some of these. Billy Belford says, hello to one of the best 3rd round picks in Schmodown history. I can't cheer.
One of the best.
I can't cheer for Dangerous because I root for underdogs and heels. He is neither. How pissed were you in NYC at that last challenge? Sir/Lord Murrell, great to have you on today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious that I was not pleased with it. But it was more the culmination of how the match had gone and the fact that there was a challenge that was issued by who's technically was supposed to be one of Brendan's opponents that ended up benefiting Brendan and against me with the whole conjuring thing. And plus, I didn't agree with the outcome of that challenge. And then there was some stuff with the wheel before the game, and so that was just like the culmination of just like I was just so upset. It's like, oh come on, like I think I said like, oh come on, because it's really like let's just get on with it.
That's the most aggressive. The only thing I ever see you do, which is like everybody else's 4 is your 10. Oh, come on. Is about the most you'll ever get. Oh, come on. Really? Like
I was tired of like
I get
trying
it.
to lose or win on a technicality. It's like I want to win clean or I want to lose clean, and I don't want to do either one in a way that's like, well, I mean, you were correct, but technically that answer, it's just like, no, I knew the answer. I knew who it was. Let's stop trying to get ticky-tack on points and stuff, and let's play the game. But that's strategy. That's strategy, and I understand it. It's just counter to my instincts on how to play the game, and, I have to learn how to live with it.
Very PC answer from Dan Murrell. Mayra M says, can you see and enjoy movies without going into honest trailer or schmodown mode? Is there a movie you watch to cleanse your movie palette?
Yeah, no, definitely. If I'm writing an honest trailer in my head during a movie, then something's gone very bad with the movie. Because if I'm digging a movie, then I'm not thinking about schmodown and I'm not thinking about honest trailers. I'm just thinking about the movie. But if a movie's really bad, I will start in my head sort of constructing ideas for like, oh yeah, okay, this would make a good thing for the honest trailer. But yeah, schmodown mode particularly, like that's a very locked in mode where it's like I sit down specifically to watch a movie for the schmodown, to take notes and stuff. Like that's more like a switch, like and yeah, to cleanse my palate. Generally, it's just a dumb movie like a Naked Gun or Airplane or Top Secret type movie, just silly. Monty Python. Just I love dumb humor.
I love that you love dumb humor because you wouldn't think
it.
that necessarily, but I love that. I think that's awesome.
And I don't mean like lazy humor, like dumb, like just silly and stupid.
I love that.
Yeah.
Paige Chaudhry says, "Hi guys, my biggest regret is not going to say hi to both of y'all in Houston. I was so scared. If I get another chance, I'm going to take it. Also, y'all need to do a show together. It would be great. It would be called Dan and Roxy Agree on Everything." I feel bad that you felt scared to say hi to us. I promise we don't bite, and hopefully we get a chance in the future, and definitely come say hello.
Yes, please. It's an open invitation. If you're ever at another live event where I am, please come and say hello, because that's my favorite part about the live events, is getting to interact and say hello to people and take pictures and all that stuff. That's the fun part for me.
That's why we're there.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, exactly.
That's why we do it. And Anthony Post says, "Hi guys, just wanted to thank you for years of awesome content. You guys are the best." Thanks,
Thank you,
Anthony. I appreciate it. Nick James says, "What is both of your most bingeable shows?" Ooh, getting into the TV world. Other than Masked Singer, Dan, what is your most bingeable?
I remember one year I watched 14 episodes of Lost in one day.
No way.
Yep.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Yep, exactly. So
it gets crazy when you binge that show.
Lost was a pretty bingeable show for me.
Me too.
Breaking Bad, I binged. I actually binged Mad Men when I was catching up. I binged a lot of Mad Men. So I think generally just a good quality, particularly a serialized drama. If it's really good, man, just
you want to just stay in there. I get that mode. Yeah. Sophie says, "Hi Roxy and Dan, thank you both for all you do. Your videos keep me extremely positive in this strange time. It's my birthday today and I never expect to spend it on lockdown, but we all have to do what we can to keep us all safe. Love from New Zealand." Happy birthday, Sophie. Thank you for the kind message. Hope you're finding a way to celebrate, and maybe that's put on hold for a little bit, but glass of wine, depending on your age, maybe writing poetry, a good movie, anything you can do to just kind of enjoy your day. Thanks for the love.
Yes, happy birthday. I hope next birthday is twice as awesome to make up for this one.
I agree. Nikki Tree says, "Don't know if it was Roca, but someone had mentioned how hard Dan is studying for IG, which has been tougher so far for you to study. IG or single/teams? IG seems like it would be easier, but it's so
Oh, I froze. I don't know if it was me or you. I don't know if everyone can hear me.
Much deeper.
Oh,
Oh, can you hear me?
oh, can you hear me now?
I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, okay.
You
You
said,
froze on my screen.
oh, I did. You said
Yes.
we've frozen. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Did you hear the question?
So which one is harder to study for,
Yes.
IG or
Yes.
teams or singles? It's different. It's different.
Mm.
IG is an easier in the sense of like you know exactly what you have to study, but knowing that you have to know every single detail, that like one
Oof.
line, one word can be important. Whereas with singles and teams, it's a much broader, obviously, it's every movie ever made, but you don't necessarily have to know down to the smallest, teeny tiny detail what you need to know. So, I guess if you're talking about pure studying, IG is a little easier in the sense that like you know exactly what you need to study. Whereas I could spend 6 days straight studying for singles or teams, and nothing that I
Matters.
studied comes up. Whereas
Right.
I know that if I study these certain things in IG, at least these movies are going to come up sometime, somewhere. It's easier in that sense, but it's much harder. It's much more pressure about memorizing every single detail of a movie. So, yeah, it's they're
Different.
both
They're
easier
different.
and harder in different ways. Yeah.
Sean McCarthy says, "What comedy?" We're just hitting Dan question after question. I love it. What comedy that you enjoyed would you like for more people to see?
Mm. Well, I mentioned just a few minutes ago. I mentioned Top Secret, which is a movie from the same team that did Airplane and Naked Gun. It stars Val Kilmer, and it's like a spy movie. He's like this sort of '60s Elvis type star, and I think it's just as funny as Airplane and Naked Gun, but it's not as well regarded. But if you like those movies, like those sort of parody movies, particularly from the '80s. I think that Top Secret is right up there with them, and it's just not, for whatever reason, it wasn't canonized the way that the other two were. So Top Secret, if you like that brand of humor, I always think that it should be right up there with those other films.
Top Secret is Dan's secret comedy movie.
There
But
you go.
oh, this is why I don't write for honest trailers. Well, that's what my jokes consist of. Good job, Rox. David Gain says, "Hi, hope you both well. Just wanted to send you both best wishes and thank you for streaming during this crazy times. For keeping up with the content. Best wishes to you and your family. We really appreciate that.
Thank you,
Thank you."
David. Thank you.
Glenn says, "Dan, what's your favorite book slash movie slash TV show to reread or rewatch on a regular basis, either because you're feeling down and you need to pick me up or because you love it so much, excluding Jaws?"
Sure. Well, we'll go with books because I don't talk about books as much. I've
Are
probably
you a big
reread.
reader?
I love to read. Yeah. Yeah. I don't do it as much as I should. I'm trying to do it more, which is kind of why I switched to audiobooks just to get more, reading in. I've probably read the original Jurassic Park like 15 times. I showed when I was on Ben Goddard's show not too long ago. I still have my original copy of Jurassic Park from like 1993. But
That's wild.
Catch 22 is another book that I love. I just think there's so much humor and it's very subversive and there's so many it's so layered, and the fact that it's sort of told out of order and there's set up for stuff that happens later on. I read that in high school, and I've probably read it 3 or 4 more times since, at least. I'm a big fan of Catch 22. It's a really good book that I like to read.
Sebastian Piquet. I butcher names, you know that. What is your favorite movie score or the one that was the most effective for you in a movie? Love you guys. Stay safe. Interesting, the differentiation between favorite and most effective. What do you
Yeah.
think, Dan?
I mean, I got to go back to what I was saying before with the John Williams thing at the bowl. It's always been E.T. It's both my favorite and is the most effective for me.
Those things are tied together for me, favorite and
Yeah.
most effective.
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick. Billy says, "Dan, say hi to your mom. Met her in Atlanta and she adopted me. She even made me root for you because we're family now. It was awesome sitting behind her. You know, I am so obsessed with your mom. Mama
Yeah.
Goat. That's what I call her now. She's the
She's
Mama
cool.
Goat.
I've heard
Oh,
from several people that met her in Atlanta that were sitting near her, that and that's fun for her too, because I just she's been so supportive of me, and I think that for her to see an event like that, it was the third live event I think she's gotten to go to. It's just so much fun for her to see just the atmosphere and everything. So
And just
everyone's so
so
nice to her.
proud of you.
Yeah, she's
Did you
awesome.
get to meet Alex Damon's parents at the event?
Briefly, I did briefly. They were
Oh my
so
God.
nice.
They were like equally as cute. So the backstage parents, oh my God, that was cute. Like Ben Goddard and I were making fun, saying that it was like you guys have hired actors for parents because they're so sweet. Like just everything that you would hope that Alex's parents and your mom would be, they just were. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a lot of that's another one of my favorite things about the live events is if it's near someone's home, getting to meet their family or their friends or people that aren't able to come out usually.
That's why I want to go to Boston so bad.
I know. Yeah.
Mike says, "Do either of you have thoughts on Return to Oz?"
Ooh,
I do not have thoughts. Do you have Return to Oz thoughts?
I've not seen the whole thing. I've seen bits and
Yeah,
pieces of it. I think
I never saw it.
it's a bold take to go with that tone on a Wizard of Oz sequel. But yeah, it's certainly it looks like a very interesting film visually, but I can't think of a bigger disparity between two movies of technically the same.
Shoot your
franchise.
shot, I guess.
Yeah,
Shoot your shot.
go big.
Cousin Vinny says, "Any shows you're watching, Dan? I'll be annoying and ask if you've seen Tiger King. I'm trying to watch Little Fires Everywhere, but it's so boring. Reese and Carrie are doing nothing for me." Woof, fighting words, those last words. But Tiger King, are you
Tiger
watching?
King is number one on our list of things to start watching because
You haven't started?
the last week, all we've heard is people talking about Tiger King. No, we're gonna watch it soon.
You're gonna love Tiger King.
We watch The Masked Singer. We watch
Yes.
Lego Masters is a show that we enjoy on Fox. I watch a lot of reality shows because I also watch a lot of movies, and generally when I'm watching TV, I like to sort of unplug a little bit. So I don't watch a lot of the heavy shows, even though they're really good. Yeah, I got to catch up on Picard. What else do we watch? We watch Mara loves Law and Order, so she's got me now every week. We watch Law and Order together.
Oh my God, that's
She's got me hooked on it now. So yeah, we watch things here and there, but it's a lot of movies really more than anything else.
You like movies?
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I'm kind of a movie buff.
Kyle Petrano says, "Just wanted to thank you guys for being awesome when you both came to New York. And Dan, thanks for being so nice to my nephew. He still brags every time he sees you on YouTube. He says that my man Dan, he a goat. You made his year. Just wanted you to know." That is so cute.
That's so awesome. I love when people bring kids to the show because it's like that's something I never anticipated was like that we would ever be doing something that kids like.
That's why I do like the direction that we're going in. I know people complain about this not being able to swear or whatever, but I love that. I mean, it's movie trivia meets wrestling, so it should be an event that kids can watch because that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I mean, just like we had our little warrior that was there at the spectacular last year that was our belt bearer for the show, and
I love Little Warrior.
There was two girls that made that drew like 20 different pictures for people in Brooklyn and New York again this year, and there's one up on our fridge that they drew for Mara. It's just so amazing that it's sort of become I get the frustration with wanting to be a little more adult, but I don't really think it's affected the show that much. And if it keeps people of all ages able to watch the show, I don't really mind it that much either.
Completely agree. Dan, before we get out of here, where can everybody keep up with you? What are you working on? What's going on in the world of Dan? Talk to us.
Well, we're still working on Honest Trailers. We will continue to put them out every week. We've been very lucky that our team is able to still manage and maintain and put those together.
A top 5 one. You already teased us. A top 5 Honest Trailer.
Potential to be a top 5.
Potential.
We'll see. We also just this last week and then going into this week, we were all able to get our home setups going. So Screen Junkies Universe is back live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be live all this week. We were live a few days last week. We're going to be, the goal is to be live at least 2 or 3 days a week. That's the plan. Plans change, but the goal is to be live at least 2 or 3 days a week. We're also developing some stuff from a lot of your favorite faces that you've seen throughout our years at Screen Junkies to be there. So that the hope and the goal is that every day at 11 o'clock Pacific, you're going to have something new from us, whether it's a live show, whether it's another video that we put together. But we're excited to sort of be getting back into a groove there. So you can check that out on Fandom Entertainment. You can check out Honest Trailers on Screen Junkies. You can find me on Twitter at Murrell Dan. I am tweeting stuff here and there. I was tweeting charts, but now there's not even any charts.
Oh my God.
So, but yeah, you can find us pretty much there and everywhere else.
Dan, this is a very proud moment for me right now because I feel as if I have pushed you to your limit of being able to plug things. You do not like to promote. There's something about it in your nature that's like, no, if you want to come, then be there, but I don't want to tell you guys where to go. I have gotten on your case on it so hard. That was the best promotion. I mean, like, I do. I feel very, very proud right now.
I mean, listen, Roxy, I'm on your show, and I feel like you play by the house rules.
It's the house rules.
It's the house rules, and you're right. You've been very tenacious on getting me to self-promote better. So I said, if I'm going to be on Roxy's show, then I better bring it when it comes to the promotion. So I did my best.
You wrote a speech. It was teleprompted. You rehearsed.
Yes, I wrote it. That was all written down.
I'm so grateful that you came on. Everybody go follow him and he'll keep you guys up to date on everything he's doing there at Murrell Dan. You guys can find me at Roxy Stryer, and I really, really appreciate this show today. I'm always honest with you guys about what's going on in my life. So just to be completely transparent, after this, I am going to the hospital as Papo has been admitted there for non-corona related things. He was having hemorrhoids, so just going to go figure that out. But I needed this distraction, so thank you to Dan for coming on this earlier time so that I could make it over there, and thank you to all of you guys for being here with us. I'm so grateful that you guys have been so supportive of me during this time of uncertainty. And I just always want to be upfront with you guys about what's going on. So I believe the show tomorrow will be happening, but I will keep you guys posted. Natalia Ramos is supposed to come in as a guest. She's the Nickelodeon star who also is one of the Bratz in the Bratz doll movies. You guys know the one with the big head. So that would be very exciting. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. But just in case, I wanted to let you guys know in advance. So I will tweet it out, and I'll also put it on my Patreon. We did have one. I'm seeing this come in. Strange tone shift, but Steve, I like to read all of the super chats. He just said, "Damn, what inner geekdom category would you beat Mara at? What would she beat you at?" So we'll answer this as the last question before we get out of here. Knowing that Mara is sitting next to you, what's he gonna say?
That's an interesting question.
Does she know?
I think no. She's in the back now. So let me think.
Okay.
She'll find out. So I have to be careful.
As your non-manager, who is your friend, I would not answer this question.
But it's all that honesty, right? So,
yeah, that's true. So maybe answer it, but he could be lying. We don't know. It could be
true. I would say right now today, she would take me easily, probably on Indiana Jones, because she knows a lot about those movies, and that's why it's her music. And I might be able to edge her out on maybe Back to the Future. Maybe.
Tricky picks.
Yes. She heard me.
I think I hear her say. What did she just say?
I'll ask her. I'll see what she says. What? The question was, what is she's right here now? What inner geekdom category would I beat you at, and which one would you beat me at right now? I beat you at Indiana Jones. She said she'd beat me on Indiana Jones. And you might beat me at Back to the Future. And she might beat me Back to the Future. What did I tell you? See, that's why we work so well together.
Always on the same page. Dan, thank you again so much for being here. And this is me sending love to Mara as well. Thank you. And everybody at home, I like to always give a round of applause so we all feel like we're together. Everybody, Bapping, we did it. We've gotten through another half day of this bizarro time. I'll keep you guys posted. And one more shout out to Dan. Thank you so much. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow for Live at the Roxy. Love you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and do the best you can to just make it here till tomorrow.